Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating truth about wealth creation. We're going to look at why the most glamorous, heavily hyped ideas out there so often fail, while ordinary, everyday service businesses are quietly building incredible wealth for the people running them. Seriously, you probably know someone like this. They never show off, but whenever they need it, the money is just there. They live totally stress-free, they travel, they owe absolutely nothing. Their secret? Well, it's usually a business that sounds so ordinary that 99% of us would never ever consider starting it.
So let's challenge everything you think you know about starting a successful business. In a world where we are constantly told that nearly half of all businesses close up shop within their first 5 years, what specific type of business boasts an absolutely unbelievable 94.8% success rate at that exact same 5-year mark? Any guesses?
It's laundromats. It turns out that laundromats boast a nearly 95% survival rate after 5 years, which vastly outperforms the national average for business survival. Think about that for a second. Out of every 100 people who open one, nearly 95 are still going strong 5 years later. And honestly, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? You don't have to convince anyone to wash their clothes. Clothes just get dirty on their own. A well-run laundromat in this massive $5 billion industry can generate over $300,000 annually with insane 50% margins. Now here's the crucial point. While we wait around for the perfect Instagram-worthy idea, like a trendy tech startup or building a slick personal brand, we're completely missing out on highly lucrative, low-risk opportunities. We call this the glamour trap. We tend to view businesses as just jobs if they aren't glamorous, and that exact mindset, that is exactly what is costing you money.
Moving on to Section 1, the boring business advantage. Let's look at why ordinary wins. To really wrap our heads around the staggering scale of boring businesses, consider this mind-blowing fact. There are more self-storage units in the US than McDonald's and Starbucks locations combined. Let that sink in. And what's even more impressive is that over 70% of them are still operated by independent owners, not massive corporate chains. The numbers are wild. Customers pay an average of $128 a month, and they stick around for over 14 months. Some people literally forget what they even have stored in there, but they just keep right on paying.
These models succeed precisely because they rely on consistent execution rather than trying to invent the next big thing. You don't need disruptive innovation here. You just need to solve permanent problems. Think about it. People will always generate trash, their cars are always going to get dirty, and pests will always try to get into their homes. This creates an absolute rock-solid foundation for recurring, highly predictable income.
Okay, let's jump into Section 2, 20 Forgotten Cash Cows. We're talking about accessible wealth. Getting started doesn't require raising millions from venture capitalists. Actually, at least 5 of these cash cows can be started with less than $5,000. That completely eliminates the excuse that you need massive capital to get going. Things like pressure washing, becoming a notary public, or buying a few ATMs, these have incredibly low barriers to entry. You can literally start today. Let's talk about passive income machines. Here, the secret isn't constant, backbreaking manual labor. It's all about strategic placement and simply collecting predictable, recurring fees. Take automated car washes, for instance. They operate heavily on membership models now, where people pay $20 to $40 a month to wash their car whenever they want. That gives the owner a predictable income, rain or shine. Or consider ice vending machines. They run 24/7, require absolutely zero employees, and you are literally selling frozen water for pure profit. It's genius.
Moving right along to route-based services like landscaping, commercial cleaning, or pool maintenance. The huge takeaway here is shifting your mindset. You have to stop thinking about charging hourly as an employee and start thinking about securing automatic recurring contracts as an owner. In pest control, for example, a massive 85% of residential income comes from recurring service contracts. So you aren't just selling a one-off service, you're building a highly predictable route of continuous cash flow.
Finally, we have the ultra-niche needs, where competition is practically non-existent. Why? Well, mostly because people let their pride stop them from picking up pet waste, painting parking lot lines, or hauling scrap metal. But let's do the math. At $20 a week per client, just 100 pet waste removal clients brings in over $96,000 a year. All you need is a bag, a scooper, and absolutely zero misplaced pride. I mean, for that kind of money, I pick up a scooper.
Author Walker Deibel actually has this great piece of advice about taking something that already exists and adding value to it. This perfectly captures the genius of combining an existing physical laundromat with a delivery service to create a highly profitable, asset-light wash and fold business.
Get this, you don't even need to own the machines. You just partner with an existing laundromat, offer the pickup and delivery convenience that modern consumers are happily paying extra for, and you keep a 30 to 40% margin. You're just the bridge, adding value through logistics.
Which brings us to Section 3, a tale of two paths. Let's look at Daniel versus Alex.
Let's break down Daniel's analysis paralysis first. Daniel really wants to start a business, but he compares everything to what he sees on social media. He wants a perfect online store or maybe a sleek, highly produced podcast. Because none of his ideas feel perfect right out of the gate, he does nothing. And while waiting for that perfect tech startup idea, he unknowingly burnt $36,000 over 5 years on unused subscriptions and eating out. That is literally enough capital to buy an automated car wash or start 3 service businesses from scratch.
Now notice the stark contrast between Daniel's fear-driven inaction and Alex. Alex was willing to just buy a pressure washer and do the unglamorous work. Actually, Alex didn't have a logo designed by some fancy agency, he didn't have a high-paid mentor, and he certainly didn't have a slick website. He just had a $3,500 pressure washer, some cheap business cards, and the guts to knock on doors in his neighborhood. That's it.
And by simply taking action, Alex's humble driveway washing hustle scaled into a business building over $180,000 a year in just 3 years. He's got a truck and 2 employees now. In fact, Alex is already looking at buying a second truck and training a 3rd employee. While Daniel is still sitting around searching for the perfect idea. This really brings us to a profound insight from researcher Thomas Stanley. Real financial freedom comes from realizing that clothes always get dirty, appliances always break, and trash always piles up. The millionaires next door, they aren't in glamorous industries. No way. They own businesses that solve tangible, annoying problems for their communities day in and day out.
All right, let's wrap things up with Section 4, start building now. Stop waiting.
Listen, if you're waiting for the perfect time, Small Business Administration data shows record-breaking growth projections right now for 2026. A massive 94% of small business owners are projecting growth, which is the highest number ever recorded. Furthermore, 56% are already using artificial intelligence to optimize their operations. The tools and the demand have literally never been better than they are right now.
So what's the ultimate takeaway here? A recession simply doesn't stop pests from invading your house or pipes from leaking in your basement, and that makes these businesses incredibly resilient. Think about it. When a refrigerator breaks, people don't just sit around and wait for the economy to bounce back. They call an appliance repair tech today, happily paying $200 to fix it rather than shelling out $3,000 to replace the whole thing.
To put this all into perspective, there are 36 million small businesses in the United States right now, and a staggering 82% of them are operated by a single person. That means millions of people have already made the decision to stop asking for permission, to check their ego at the door, and to just start working for themselves.
Because here is the absolute ultimate truth of the matter. Boring businesses pay for exciting lives. It's that simple. The person who is willing to check their pride, bend down, and get their hands dirty, well, they're the one who ultimately wins the absence of fear and the freedom to live exactly however they want.
The opportunity is already sitting right in front of you. The demand is clearly there, the low-cost entry points are there, and these permanent problems aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So the only question left for you to answer today is this: how much longer are you going to wait to start building your own boring empire?